Well, it is Texas Tech week for the Longhorns. This is one of the top 4 games of the season for Texas. One of those landmine games where it's not going to be easy getting in there. I put this game up with, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and then of course, if the Aggies can hold up to what they're supposed to be this year, Texas A&M at the end of the year here in Austin. But this is the first one. It's early game, early in the year, like we had last year, and. First off, to some of the Texas Tech fans, I know TTU Pirate made a video, and JD Merritt as well. JD, he wanted to do a bet. I'm kind of, I did 2 years ago, I was the one to call for this bet with someone. I forgot who was the other Tech fan. Maybe you, I don't remember. Doing a video where I would sing the Texas Tech fight song if we lost and vice versa. I'm not going to do those public stuff anymore. At least not with, and this is not to be condescending or whatever, but it's kind of an unfair deal because when I have to sing the Texas Tech fight, and I know you just want me to put Texas Tech players on my page, but that same thing. When I did that Texas Tech video 2 years ago, when I sang the fight song for Texas Tech, that joker's got like 25,000 views, and it got on the local news here. I mean, it went everywhere. So. Because I've got a lot of subscribers, because I've been doing this is my 4th year to do this. So I've been around for a while. Not that I'm better than anybody. So whenever I have to do something public like that, it's more effective than someone who's kind of just getting started, getting more subscribers. So if y'all want to do something, I'm more than happy to do a hat bet this week with, I guess, JD, you're the one who brought up if you want to do that with me. But if he didn't want to, anybody else, actually, you know what? The first Texas Tech fan to put the video response to this video, go ahead and and then we'll be the one back and forth with a hat bet, and $20, $25, whatever, nothing big. So that's the bet from me on the line. Okay, so Texas Tech this week. I in my last video about the Longhorns, talking about the Wyoming game, I was not impressed, and there are still a lot of questions left for this Texas team, and I still stand by that. A lot of Longhorns fans didn't like that. They said, "Come on, you're exaggerating," all that kind of stuff. Look, Texas Tech is not some slouch this year. They haven't been for the last couple years, and especially going over in Lubbock. Lubbock. It's just I was there 2 years ago, as y'all know, and some of y'all saw me on TV. It's one of the loudest places I've been. There's only 55,000 people there, but it's loud and crazy, and it's just full of dirty Tech fans. Texas Tech fans, please leave your comments below. So it's a rough place over there. Now, of course, I can make fun of the whole thing of apparently their fans are going to do some silent scare or whatever where when the horns come out, they're not going to do anything. I don't know. I personally think that's kind of counterintuitive because what got me in 2008 was not just how good the team was, but how loud that place and how excited that place was. So, but that's what they want to do. But talking about the game, the reason I'm worried, it's the same thing, like a broken record, but I don't know what to expect from Texas. We haven't seen this team have to play in crunch time and have to look to someone to be a leader. I did like the fact that when we fell down 7-6 against Wyoming, we hit 2 quick touchdowns, boom, boom. Fozzie with a 38-yard touchdown, then hitting Mike Davis for a touchdown, 45 yards out. That's great, but that's Wyoming. This is Texas Tech. What scares about Tech, of course, not just being on the road, but you got a very veteran offense. I think almost every single person who played on the team last year on offense is back. Potts, Batch, Lalion. I think the whole offensive line for the most part. I mean, these guys they've been doing the same thing for a while. And Tuberville, from the game that I saw against SMU, looks like the same Texas Tech scheme as it always has been. On defense, they looked better, but I am definitely not going to give them the edge there. Right now, going into this game, just to be purely objective, I think the Longhorns had the edge defensively. But you've got to say, as of right now, before the kickoff, Texas Tech has the edge on the offensive side of the ball just because we don't know what we've got. We played 2 bad teams, and I know Texas Tech did the same thing. But both times, even watching the games, we put up points, but at no point was there really a lot of consistency on the offense. So we're going to have that against Texas Tech because they'll beat us if we can't figure that out. And this is going to be a game. This is the game right now. One, I think the defense is going to have to carry us, as I said before. But really, the guy, if we're going to look at the offense, it's not Mike Davis, not the running backs, not the offensive line. Garrett Gilbert, quarterback, is going to have to be the playmaker in this game. These first 2 games, He's done great in the sense that he hasn't turned the ball over. He's made good passes. He's made good decisions. We haven't taken a lot of chances. I'm not putting that on him as much as I am the coaching staff and things of that sort. I think this is a week where you're going to have, if you want to win this game, because this is not going to be some slash of a game. If you want to win this game, Garrett Gilbert is going to have to be the best quarterback on the field. He's going to have to outplay Potts or Sheffield, whoever comes in. This is the game. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to see it from him either. He's still young. It's his sophomore season. So I want to see this as a Longhorns fan, as a football fan. I want to see this guy come in because this is his first chance to play in a true hostile environment. He got to play in the national title game. That's a split field. It's a bigger stage, definitely, and a better defense and a better team you're playing against. But still, when you go to Lubbock, you're going to. This is his first time to have a real, because the Rice game, that's an extra home game for Texas. This is the first time he's going to go walk into a place where 95% of the people there hate your guts and are screaming and as loud as they can while you're trying to make calls and stuff. And they can get to you over there in Texas Tech. I know they're having some red out. This is, I think, I saw a thing on Facebook, some guy that I know, he was taking pictures of the Texas Tech facilities. And one of the pictures was of the weight room. And in the weight room, it's got all the weights and stuff. And on the ceiling, they have signs. And all the signs are black, and they each have dates on them. And each of those are game day. There's one sign, though, that's not black. There's one sign that's red. And I just want to let y'all know, take a wild guess at who you think that is. So that's the emphasis that this team is putting on this game. People sending me stuff from what Tuberville's saying, from what Mac Brown's saying. What coaches say, especially when talking about an upcoming game, who cares? They're not going to say anything. All they're going to say is about how much their team needs to work and how good the other team is. So I don't want to hear anything about what Tuberville's saying or what Mac Brown's saying. From what I've seen, though, the Longhorns have better get it into gear come Saturday. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we can win this game. But I do believe, this is a game, though, that I would not be surprised if we lost. I'm not. It's weird. I could see Texas go in there and win by 3 touchdowns. At the same time, it's not, Longhorns fans, we don't need to be too arrogant to think that we can't get the dog whipped out of us like Oklahoma did last year. Remember last year when Oklahoma went to Texas Tech, they just beat Oklahoma over the head that game. And I know that OU was banged up, so I don't put a lot of stock into OU season last year because they didn't have Bradford and a lot of those guys. But that being said, they were still the Oklahoma Sooners, and they went into Lubbock and got completely annihilated by Texas Tech. So what I'm saying is we have a very young team coming into Lubbock, a very inexperienced team coming into Lubbock. This is where we're going to find out what the character of these guys is, because there's going to be some adversity coming up this game, and we're going to see how Gilbert and that offense can respond. Okay, because we haven't been great on third downs. Okay, we took for granted Colt McCoy, who seemed like he was automatic on third downs, most accurate passer in college football history, most winning player in college football history. We got a new guy in there, a guy who I think can get the job done at some point. We'll find out we'll really see a good step in his progression if he can win this game this week. I think the onus is going to be on Garrett Gilbert this week. He's going to have to be the playmaker for us. He can't do it by himself, but I think he's going to be the vocal point of this offense if we're going to win this game. So that's my thoughts on the game. We'll see what happens, Texas Tech fans. The bet's still up there. If you guys want to do the hat bet or whatever, just first one to put a video response to this video accepting it, we'll do that. So let's get it done, Longhorns. Hook 'em horns, Texas fight.